Hey, family, this is my last one for today and probably the most serious one. And again, I'm not trying to get people to change their minds. I'm just trying to encourage people to research, to not just read one book, one document, um, but to have conversations, to read, to research, and to expand your horizons if you're trying to move in a different direction. If you are happy where you are, then you don't need to do anything. You just be happy where you are. But if you do want to question the status quo or want to understand a little better what's going on in our country and in the world in terms of race and culture and religion, then you're going to have to demand of yourself to dig deeper. And that will require time, that will require reading, investigating, and asking lots of questions. And so here we go with religion. And we know that religion is very powerful, very sacred to people. And when I'm talking about religion, I am not talking about spirituality. They are two different things. Our spiritual connection to our Creator, some people believe in a Creator, some people don't. It doesn't matter. But we're all here for this space and time, and at some point in time we won't be here. But right now I'm talking about religion. And here are a couple of suggestions that I have for your reading. This is slave religion. When we came here, when we were brought here, let me just put it that way, the religions of Africa and from our ancestors was not the religion that we practice today. It's a different religion. Was a different spirituality. We have to be aware of that. We have to read about it. The religion that most African Americans practice today, whether you want to believe it or not, is a religion that was imposed upon us to control us. Again, religion is separate from spirituality. So we talk about antiquity and the black presence in the Bible. But if we really look at geography, archaeology, we know that many of the people in that region of the world were people of color. The invention of race is an American invention. People from different parts of the world never considered themselves white or black. They considered themselves to be from certain families, tribes, communities, and nations, not black or white. So when we came, many of us came through the diaspora, we had no idea that our entire identities would be erased. Some of us were from West Africa, some of us were from East Africa. There was slavery on the continent. And so this book I find very interesting to read. It's called Into Egypt Again with Ships, Into Bondage Again with Ships. So it's a book that is thought-provoking, and I recommend it. Then there's another book that's got kind of stories in it or things you might want to question, and that's the book The Church Doesn't Want You to Read. Because if you question things, then people have to come up with answers, and often they don't have answers. They don't know. They'll just say, God doesn't want you to know, or if he wanted you to know, he'd tell you. Well, he is telling you. He gave you a brain, or she gave you a brain. So the concept of God is a created concept. Could God be male, female, both? It depends upon where you're from. In the Egyptian culture, you have the male principle and the female principle. So you have gods and goddesses, which in many cultures and traditions that makes sense. It doesn't make sense for one. And for that one to just be a white god in the sky that controls all of us. So just something to think about. Not criticizing, just saying think about. This is a book that is the Bible that I read, and I've read from time to time, the original African Heritage Study Bible. And not just for spiritual nourishment, but for history. And I read, again, a lot of different books. But that's one that I read. So when we talk about religion, If religion is separating you from your family, if it's causing harm to other people, if it's not generating kindness, compassion, love, you might want to look at finding another religion. We weren't born religious people, but we were born spiritual. So that's what I have to say today. It is Sunday. Go out, have a blessed day, a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.